What's up, everybody? What's up, all my wrestling fans out there? This is the breakdown with Chris, the style breakdown with Chris Style, episode one. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's episode one of my wrestling podcast that I'm starting. If you're watching this will be a Wednesday. I'm recording these on Tuesdays, but this will be dropping on Wednesdays. I'll probably try to drop these every Wednesday. Maybe sometimes I'll drop one on Friday, but mostly on Wednesdays. And yeah, man, this is my way of giving my takes on wrestling. I see a lot of wrestling podcasts and content creators out there, and shout out to all y'all that are out here doing your thing, man. Appreciate y'all, man, for opening doors for guys like me to have the courage to come out and speak their mind, man. And look, you may not agree with everything I got to say when it comes to my wrestling takes and things that I got to say, as far as wrestling goes. And hey, that's fine. It's an opinion. It's how we feel. And hey, man, I'm just trying to give my voice into this space of podcasting and content creating, which I have a love for wrestling. Been watching wrestling since I was a kid. Always, still watched it, been in it. It was probably a little bit of time where I stepped away from it from a little bit, but I always kept my eyes on it, always kept my ears to the street of what was going on. But I always love wrestling. So it's a part of me, man. It's something I love to watch and indulge in, and so it's just my way of giving my takes. What I'm saying, on wrestling. So, but hey, man, let's talk about it, man. As my man Trick Williams would say. Let's talk about it, man. They dropped the full card on ESPN today. We got the full layout on night one and night two. So we'll start with the bottom of night one. Uh, you have the six-man tag match where you have LA Knight and the Usos versus the Vision and I Show Speed. Now we all know that I Show Speed has been on the last few episodes. Danhausen, he's done some stuff with Danhausen. He's been cursed by Danhausen, and his life has been in shambles since he's been cursed by Danhausen. Plus, he has a relationship with Logan Paul, as both of them are streamers, high profile streamers out there in that type of world of content creating. And of course, Austin Theory and Logan Paul, they are part of the Vision. They are the tag team champions now because I Show Speed the week before on Monday Night Raw. He ended up getting pulled into the outside from the outside into the match of the Usos and the Vision. Um, I Show Speed, he picked up the brass knucks from Logan Paul, accidentally hits LA Knight, which ultimately led to a domino effect of the Usos losing their belts to the Vision. And I Show Speed, he's been forever not trying to get involved, but LA Knight showed up to one of his streams. Pretty much said, "Hey man, water under the bridge," but I got to get my receipt back. Threw him into his camera on his desk, where he streams at. I know this is a thing that I Show Speed likes to do. He likes to jump in into his camera, so this is nothing new to him. But it was good content, good for him to be a part. He's fully invested into this role. I know a lot of people don't like some of the streamers and guys, celebrities being involved in WrestleMania, but this is WrestleMania, man. There's always going to be celebrities since the first iteration of WrestleMania. There's always been a celebrity figure. That's what WWE likes. They like moments. They like celebrity figures to be a part because they want this to make it seem like this is a big spectacle. This is a big entertainment spectacle for the not just for the wrestling fans, but for the casuals to come in and watch too. So they don't want just our eyes to watch it. They want the outside eyes to watch it too. So if they can get somebody at I Show Speed to get on in a match, that'll make whoever's an I Show Speed fan to come in and watch this match and maybe become a WWE fan. That's what they're looking at it at. But this is going to be an interesting match. I imagine it's going to be one of those fun matches. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give my predictions yet, but this is one of those type of matches. And then you got Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match, which means that this won't count against them as far as wins and losses, even though wins and losses don't matter anyway. But this won't put a scratch or a notch on their record. It's an unsanctioned match, so anything goes. No holds bar. These dudes are just gonna beat the hell out of each other, and it should, excuse me, make for a good match and one of the better matches on the card. So then you have the women's tag team fatal four way. Now, look, the women tag team period has not been great, but the women's tag team championships have not been the greatest. It seems like that they don't know how to book the tag team titles. They throw teams together. They makeshift teams. And look, I love the Irresistible Force with Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I think that they're perfect together. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, they've been a really good team. Lara, Valkyria, and Bailey, they've been a really good team. And, we all know the Bella twins. They've have come back into prominence. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's Nikki Bella. Supposedly she fractured her foot or broken her foot. So I don't know how healthy she's going to be going into this match. But they've been having a series now. I know on Friday on SmackDown, they had a match between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bailey and Lara Valkyria, and those two went at it, and it was kind of crazy that Lara Valkyria took the clean pin after they really never really got their fair share shot against the Last Legend and Nia Jax, the Irresistible Force. But it is what it is. I wouldn't have booked it that way, but it is what it is. It's a cool match. It should be cool, but I'm not that highly invested into this match, but I expect it should be a fun match. Then you have AJ Lee and Becky Lynch running it back for the IC championship. AJ Lee beat her, I think let's say Elimination Chamber. She beat Becky Lynch. She might have been something prior, pay per view prior to that, but I know she beat her for the IC belt, and now she's Becky Lynch wants her run back at WrestleMania. A lot of people are speculating that maybe AJ Lee may lose this match, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not giving my prediction yet, but I'm kind of up in the air in this match. I don't know who wins this match, but should be a good match. AJ Lee, she's been getting her feet wet back into the into the ring, so she's been knocking that rust off a little bit here and there. So this should be make for a pretty decent, solid match. Then you have Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Now we all know that with the Vision losing Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to injuries, and we all know we've heard that Braun Breaker is healthy and he's been cleared, but they're kind of holding him back. They want to push this match, probably the SummerSlam. Him and Seth Rollins, they'll probably push that to a SummerSlam match. So here enters Gunther, and Gunther was said to face Rey Mysterio. We'll talk about Rey Mysterio a little bit later, but it was said that he was going to face Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio said that he wasn't ready or he might not be healthy enough. So here enters Gunther. He comes out last Monday after Seth Rollins comes out and says he's cleared, and Gunther comes out, chokes him out, beats him up a little bit, and everybody's surprised, and why is Gunther into this? And then it was announced, Adam Pearce comes out of the doctor or the doctor's room with Seth Rollins and says the match is official between Gunther and Seth Rollins. And so here we are. We have Gunther, Seth Rollins for just nice good old match. Should be one of the better matches. Both of these guys are good workers. Seth did come out Monday or yesterday night saying that he was kind of confused with why Gunther. He never had no issues with Gunther. Gunther was never on his radar, but Gunther made it clear, like, I just, I'm doing this because I think he wants Paul Heyman in his back pocket. He wants a big favor. He even told Paul Heyman in the back, like when he shook his hand, "Oh, you're gonna owe me much more than a favor." So that might be spread a little breadcrumbs to something else, but we'll see. And then we got the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Valkyrie. We all know Liv Morgan won the 2026 Royal Rumble, and so she will be facing Stephanie Van Kier for the WWE the world's women championship. Should be a good match. I think the buildup has actually been pretty good for these two. These two have been going back and forth. Stephanie Van Kier, after getting beat up last week, Roxanne had returned and jumped her from behind, and Liv Morgan jumped her and beat her up in the ring. Well, this week when Liv Morgan and Roxanne were talking, and she, looked like Liv was trying to, check the temperature of Liv Morgan, since Finn Balor was the one who brought her into the Judgment Day, and now Finn Balor has now been excommunicated from the group. She was trying to check her temperature to make sure, are you still with us? Are you not with us? As proceeding with that conversation, Stephanie Van Kier comes out of nowhere and hits Liv with a vicious shot to the back of the head, and her and Liv Morgan and Roxanne end up bumping heads. It was word that they're in concussion protocol. Now, I did see some pictures with Liv Morgan. She put on posts like, now it's on, like something to the effect that now it's on, bitch. And she had a big old knot on her head, and it looked like the Judgment Day was kind of making fun of her a little bit, but uh, it looks like she'll be fine to go on with the match. But hopefully Roxanne is okay to proceed. She just came back from injury, so it would suck for her to have to be out for an extended period of time. So, but I love the build up for this match. I think this match should be a good one. And then you got the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Now, as far as the buildup of this match, and I'm not gonna speak you guys to nausea. You've heard every content creator, you heard everybody. Hell, you've heard some superstars. Hell, even Cody Rhodes came out the same night, same day, last Friday, to speak on it, and then CM Punk said something about it today. Pat McAfee, the elephant in the room. We all were excited for the reveal, and unfortunately, the reveal was Pat McAfee. We were not wanting Pat McAfee, and this build up did not need a celebrities. We didn't need Jelly Roll to get involved. We didn't need Pat McAfee. You got the WWE and TKO could evolve this story and build up this story to WrestleMania, with just the history between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, from legacy to then, Randy being Cody's like mentor per se, and just the stuff, different stuff, the backstories of all the things that those two have been through. Both of them being nepo babies and having legendary fathers and grandfathers that was in this business. So they have that in common. You know what I'm saying? Cody going away and then coming back. Like, there was so much story that they could have used without implementing a Pat McAfee or a Jelly Roll into the story. I'm not even mad at Matt Cardona, because Matt Cardona he's really cool with Cody Rhodes. They're really good friends, and I think he's really good friends with Randy Orton too. So um, I'm not mad at that element, but I'm just saying that they didn't have to add Pat McAfee. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. It didn't make sense. Even the whole, you're driving the ticket sales down. You're not. I'm not buying that, because it's not because of Cody Rhodes that the tickets are not selling. It's because the ticket sales are too damn expensive. Now they've tried to lower them a little bit, and there's word is because CM Punk lower, said what he said last night on Monday Night Raw. It looks like they're trying to look into lowering them even more to get more people to come. But I just wasn't feeling the whole Pat McAfee thing. I think they could have did without that. But all in all, I think the match will be fine. We'll see what happens this Friday, these next 2 Fridays, going into maybe even Monday, going into WrestleMania, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So that's the card for night one, and everybody knows that the first hour will be on ESPN2. So you can watch the first hour for free, and hopefully maybe that'll get you guys to maybe want to look into hour number 2 and watch the rest of WrestleMania. But yeah, and then, if you're living if you're in the Vegas area, I don't know about other places in other cities. I don't know if they're allowing other cities to have viewing parties on that. But I know if you're out here in Vegas, I live in Vegas. If you're out here in Vegas, they got plenty of places where you can go watch WrestleMania. Some of them charge, but some of them don't. It's kind of first come, first serve type deal. But yeah, man. I know night one I will be going with some friends to watch it at the Palms. pool area. They're gonna have a viewing out there. So yeah, man, come to the pond. I think you can go in there for free, but they do charge for, like, if you want to sit at the day bed, cabana, stuff like that. But there's other places where you can watch it too. So excuse me, you can check that out too. Excuse me. All right, let's go to night two, man. So night two, we got the ladder match. We got Dragon Lee, Rusev, uh, JD McDonough, uh, Javon Evans, Penta, and now announced last night, Rey Mysterio Jr. Excuse me. It would be a six-man for the IC title belt, Intercontinental belt. It's going to be a ladder match, and we all know that they love to put the high flyers outside of Rusev, who they always put kind of a oddball into these matches, a guy who's not so much of a high flyer. So it'll be interesting to see how Rusev, you know, adds into this match. But this match will be amazing. It should be great. All the moves are going to be happening into this match. Excuse me, all the high flying that's going to happen in this match. Man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. And I'm looking forward to it. I will be at night two. So I will be in the building to see this match. And I just can't wait, man. This is going to be amazing. Then you have Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the U.S. Belt. Now, I know a lot of people have had discourse against how they did Carmelo Hayes, kind of X'd him out, not allowed him to be a part of WrestleMania. I would have liked it if they tried to make it a way to make it a triple threat match because of the way that Carmelo Hayes lost the first time, with Trick Williams interfering and costing him the match, what ultimately led to Sami Zayn getting the match. And then last week, it was something happened to the ref, or no, they made it to where Carmelo Hayes had the whole, he did a flip over the thing, his knee hurts. So, the knee was a point of emphasis in the match. And then he does a jump off the top rope, lands on the leg again. He's in the corner. The referee is checking on him. Sami Zayn at first is trying to, he tells Sami to back up. Sami takes, and he really doesn't do anything wrong outside the element. But, as far as morale goes, he, does his hello kick while they're checking on him, or the ref is checking on Carmelo Hayes. He, gets the 1, 2, 3. And this is building on Sami Zayn not turning the other cheek, not doing what the good guy does. And what he usually would have did was, kind of let Carmelo Hayes and probably checked on Carmelo Hayes, but now he's turning that corner of, I got to take my opportunities when they show themselves, and whether it makes me look like a good person or a bad person, I'm going to take those opportunities, and that's what he's doing. And then Trick Williams, we know Trick is super over right now. A lot of people are speculating that this might be one of those Stone Cold Bret Hart moments where, the crowd flips on Sami, cheers for Trick, and maybe Sami turns full on heel in this match. Maybe even after the match. So we'll see. We'll see. Should be a good match though. Great opportunity for Trick Williams too. Then you got Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, folks. I haven't really been too intrigued with the build up in this match. It's been okay. It's been fine. It's getting a little better. They added, Jay Cargill with Mention and B-Fab being a part of, Jay Cargill's new faction. They're now together now. Jay Cargill was having a little beef with Mention, and then she was having beef with B-Fab. But I think it was one of those things. If we can't beat her, we'll join her. So they've been, kind of causing Rhea Ripley some problems. I know last Friday they jumped her before, then they tried to jump her again, but Io Sky came out, saved the day, which led to a tag team match on Monday with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus B-Fab and Mention. Io Sky ended up getting, I think it was Io Sky that got the pin over B-Fab. And then Jay Cargill comes in. They start creating havoc, beating up Rhea Ripley, beating up EO. Jay Cargill, as Rhea Ripley is held up in the corner, Jay Cargill grabs a kendo stick, smashes it over EO Sky's, her, stomach and her back, and just makes Rhea watch. Hits her with the move, with her finisher, and then walks out the ring with Mitch and B-Fab. So they're kind of playing on that story. Uh, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with this match. It's getting a little better with the build up, but still, as far as my anticipation list. And look, I'm not sitting here saying it. I love Jay Cargill. I love Rhea Ripley, but it's just the build up hasn't been the greatest. Then you got Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Look, I had anticipated that the Demon Finn Balor was coming out. I do wish that they had a little bit more element of surprise. I wish they would have held this out one more week. I wish that, or even waited up until, like, just waited. Like, there's a side of me that you don't want to see, and now it's time to come out. I think they should have held that vignette for next week and not even reveal it on the card. Not even reveal that the Demon is coming. Just put Finn Balor, and then all of a sudden the Demon comes out. That's what they should have did with this match. But they're promoting it. They're trying to get butts and seats. So we're getting Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This should be a good match. It'll be interesting what direction this match goes. But yeah, this should still be one of the better matches on the card. Then you got the one of the more anticipated matches on this card. You have Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. We've all been wanting this match since Royal Rumble when those two faced off. So now we're here. And as far as the build up has been fine. It's been pretty good. These guys, Oba has been getting the best over Brock Lesnar. I think he even kind of got the best over him last night, even with the contract signing. They was beating each other up. Um, I do need to see Brock Lesnar get one over on Obafemi before I make my decision for this match. But yeah, I do need to see that. But should be a good match. Should be one for the ages. Everybody wants to see the two big guys just go at it and beat each other up. So this should be a great epic match. So I'm highly anticipating for this match. But as far as the main event goes for the World Heavyweight Championship, we got Roman Reigns, the OTC, versus CM Punk. Um, the build up for this has been interesting. It's been up and more ups than downs. Shout out to Simon, but more what culture, but more ups than downs. But I would say it's been pretty good. It's been way better than Randy and Cody. I'll say that. Um, Roman, 1 week Roman would get the best of CM Punk in the promo, then CM Punk would get the best of Roman, and now they're starting to hit each other with shots. Roman, when the Usos, was asking, coming out talking trash, then you heard Jay Uso telling Roman to get him. He got, he hits him with the spear, takes him on the outside, power bombs him on the table, and then CM Punk is laughing because he's thinking like, yeah, I got the best of him. Then a week prior to that, Roman Reigns, he calls him old, which is kind of funny that was the thing that triggered CM Punk, but calls him old, gets punched in the face. So then Roman Reigns thinks he has one up on him, and then like I said, fast forward. Then he does it, hits him with the power bomb. So now he feels like he's really up on him. Then you go to last Monday. CM Punk, no words, no nothing. They just come out punching on each other, beating each other up. CM Punk hits, all the way to the outside. Of course, all the security guards and Adam Pearce and all them. But CM Punk hits him with the GTS and power bombs him through the table. And fast forward to this week, CM Punk, he comes out early talks about, Roman Reigns is pretty much manufactured. He's real, he's authentic, he comes from the ground. Whereas in Roman Reigns, he's a failed football player who's a nepo baby. His father gave him an opportunity. Um, didn't really have to scratch and claw. How Vince McMahon pretty much tried to which he did. He tried to shove Roman down everybody's face. Um, trying to make him a main event, but it was more so due to bad booking, not on Roman's part. It was more so that Vince was trying to make him the next John Cena in this super clean baby face, and that's just not how you book a Roman Reigns. We've seen that since he's come back as the tribal chief, that he has been a lot better. But he's also, CM Punk has been pushing the issue of Roman Reigns has never been able to do anything on his own as far as, beating anybody. He's always got his cousins. He's always got, Jay and Jimmy and all his family members to back him up. And just pretty much going off of that, what I'm saying? Just saying that Roman has never had to, really claw and get nothing on his own. He's always had somebody to help him out. So that was kind of what he's going with. And then, of course, CM Punk said his spiel on the whole Pat McAfee and TKO and Ari Emanuel and his, involvement into putting Pat McAfee into involving him into this match. And, you know, just, how CM Punk does it, man. He's got to speak his mind on certain things. So, but as far as the match goes, I mean, it's one of the matches I'm anticipating. I'm grateful for night two. I will be at night two. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the ladder match, Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, Trick Williams. I know the crowd is going to be rocking. It's going to go crazy for Trick Williams. Entrance. Is of course seeing Demon Finn Balor in person is going to be dope, and then that Roman Reigns and CM Punk match is going to be crazy. But night one has its matches too. Like I said, the Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre match, the Seth and Gunther match should be good. Stephanie Van Kier and Liv Morgan should be okay. And then Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. As far as the match goes, it should be a better match than what John Cena and Cody Rhodes was last year. So I'm anticipating that WrestleMania will be a better show than what it was last year. Even though the build-ups in certain areas have not been the greatest, I still think that it should be a good paper. PLE, should I say. So those are the matches for WrestleMania. Excuse me. So yeah, man, those are my overall feelings of WrestleMania. It should be a good card, man. Um, uh, you know, I know a lot of people have been talking about the build up for WrestleMania, and it's been bumpy. That's why I named this episode "Bumpy Road to WrestleMania 42" because it has been a bumpy road. It has been up and down. Certain areas, certain matches that have been made. They've done certain things that they didn't have to do. They've added extra that they didn't have to add. The story is already right there for them to just write, just build, or let the wrestlers build. Just give them little points here, points there, but they didn't have to add all the extra, right? The Pat McAfee, the jelly rolls. I don't mind the I show speed stuff. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm even okay with Little Yachty coming out with Trick Williams. That's fine. Okay. But you didn't have to add Pat McAfee. And if that was the reveal, like you could have kept that. And to hear that Ari Emanuel, the head of TKO, and I guess he's an agent of Pat McAfee, for him to be pushing, for him to be a part of creative and be a part of the show. And at first, initially, Pat McAfee turned it down until they offered him some more money. Uh, it's just not a good look for me. I don't like it. I hope it's not something that's going to continue to happen going forward. I know he's you know, TKO has a lot of say so, but I'm hoping that this is just something that was just they. I think they hopefully they understand that the WWE fans don't want outside influences that don't know nothing about wrestling, don't know nothing about the wrestling business. They just write the checks and let the people who handle this, who have been doing this for years, allow them to run this, allow them to, create. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm not saying that Triple H and them have been booking the greatest themselves, but I think that they could have did it better. They could have. We don't need added extra on bad booking from outside voices, booking and doing stuff favors for people that don't even deserve to be on the card. So hopefully that doesn't happen going forward. We've already had to deal with so much when Vince was booking so bad and he wanted to add extras and do all stupid stuff and put this person in place and now push this person up. And, you know, it was just not a good look, not a good look at all. But, hopefully, what I'm saying, leading up these next few, SmackDown coming up. You got Raw next week. We got another SmackDown in Vegas, leading into WrestleMania night one. So hopefully these next three shows are good enough to get everybody hyped up for WrestleMania. I know the ticket prices should be going down. So, it should be way more affordable for everybody to come to experience WrestleMania. I went last year for night two, and I thought, it was amazing. Even though I didn't care for the main event as far as John Cena and Cody Rhodes, I didn't care for that. But outside of that, man, I thought that it was fine. I thought it was cool, and yeah, like I said, I think that this WrestleMania will be 10 times better than the WrestleMania 41. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the build up for certain matches haven't been the greatest, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Um, that's my time for today. That's all I really wanted to get into was just to give y'all a preview of WrestleMania, how I feel about going into WrestleMania. It's been, like I said, it's been a little bumpy going into WrestleMania, but I don't want to take up too much time. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much you could say, that hasn't been already put out there. So that was my take on certain matches. That's the full card. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button because I will, like I said, be dropping content every Wednesday. And sometimes I'll drop some on Friday. I'm gonna drop my AEW Dynasty predictions for all my AEW fans out there. I'm gonna drop my AEW Dynasty predictions on Friday, so be looking out for that. But this episode will be dropping today on Wednesday. Was my Tuesday, but on Wednesday it'll be dropping. So tap in with me. Appreciate y'all. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me how you feel about the WrestleMania full card. How do you feel? Do you feel like you like how the card is built up? Do you like night one, two better? Which one do you like better? Which one are you anticipating? Are you coming to WrestleMania? Let me know in the comment section, man. And until next time,